Hello and welcome to the long-awaited review of the brand new Adepta Sororitas or Sisters of Battle Sister Squad set from the Sisters of Battle Army set right here in the background. At present, this is the only way to get a Battle Sisters squad through this box set, which came out in November. It is a monopose kit. They're not easy to build or push fit. They've been created in the similar vein to all of the Primaris that we had in the Dark Imperium set over 2 years ago. When the full kit comes out, with all of the different weapon options and things, I expect it to be between £30 and £35. If it's £30, that's going to be great, but if it's £35, then it's going to follow suit with both the price increases and the Primaris sets. There are 10 Battle Sisters in this set. There's a Sister Superior, and there are 2 Sisters armed with ranged weapons, both a Flamer and a Stormbolter. So right there you can see you've got 6 Battle Sisters all armed with bolt guns. The Sister Superior, the Sister with the Simulacrum Imperialis, a Sister with a Flamer and a Sister with a Stormbolter. So that's the unit makeup. Let's have a look at the models individually. Firstly, let's have a look at the kind of unique miniatures in here, which is the Sister Superior. Pretty decent miniature. She's armed with a chainsword and a bolt gun. A fair bit of detail on her. She's standing atop these like little pile of bricks. She's got some icons on the bolt gun. The bolt gun looks different than like a standard Space Marine bolt gun. We'll do some size comparisons later. The power plant looks excellent. If you just like compared it to different power plants, this one for the Stormbolter has 2 big magazines for the Stormbolter. This Flamer equipped sister has the fuel canisters, but if we compare it just to a normal sister, it is different. They have different icons and things on their power plants. Real big fan of the power armor, the beads, the icons, the eye insignia, the floral design, the bionics. She's got different types of grenades and pouches. It's beautifully sleek, feminine armor. Even the handguard for the chainsword as well. So that's the Sister Superior. Let's look at the Flamer. Now, this is such a sort of grotesque model. I don't know whether we've actually had any, like I say, burn victims, no, charred remains of bodies on bases before. We've had some decapitations and some limbs hacked off, but I can't recall any other models that have been charred and flamed beyond belief. This is pretty horrific stuff, and well, I want to see more of it. Is that a bad thing to say? I want to see you know, more results of this war on a galaxy scale. I was expecting to see more of it with Death Guard, you know, bodies being burst open by maggots and the results of the Death Guard's aggression, really. And here we have it. You know, some form that's been cleansed, purged with fire. She's got the fuel tanks on the back, got the grenades. Flamer looks pretty decent. I like how the kind of ejection port for that looks a bit like a brazier, if you want to call it that. She's got the beads as well. She's got this little mask to protect her, I suppose, because she's not got the helmet on from any sort of gases and things or smoke. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, each one of these miniatures tells a story in of itself. The next range weapon sister is the sister with the Stormbolter. She's got like an eye patch thing going on. Her cloak is a bit bigger. Well, it's a bit bigger there on the arm. The Stormbolter looks massive on her, which is pretty good. It's only got the 1 magazine. That's quite odd. Normally you get Stormbolters with the 2 magazines on each side, and she's got 2 there. I like the unique power plant with the scroll and the purity seal there. So yeah, she's very unique. And then finally, the battle sister with the Simulacrum Imperialis. Stunning miniature again, very slender looking, a fair few skulls. I count 5 skulls in there, with some icons. Got a scroll as well, bolt gun with an eye significate with an eye symbol, and then you've got the helmeted version there, and the power plant is pretty unique. You have to glue on a pistol. You don't have to, but you can do. It's always optional, but there you go. Lovely miniature. I like this, and I can't wait for the other miniatures, like the Dialogus and the Hospitaller. And then we've got the 6 normal battle sisters. Now there are twins, but this kit gives you different head options, which is brilliant. Helmetless and helmeted. Now what I've done is I've mixed them up a bit, and I've changed their head location, which I think looks better in my opinion. Rather than having them look exactly the same with the heads, with the helmets, you can do that. I mean, there are plenty of characters and things in the Sisters of Battle army that don't have helmets. So, and it's much like the Space Marine armies, where you're going to have a few Space Marines helmetless, you know, for whatever reason, for design reasons. So that's why I've chosen to mix them up and change the position of the head. So you do get 3 sets of twins in the Battle Sisters squad. Now these are such twins. They've got the bolt guns. They're in exactly the same pose. However, what I've done is I've changed the helmets. I've changed the head options. So each of these come with 2 head options. So you could have both of them with helmets. You could have one with a helmet looking away, and one with a helmet looking forward to where they're firing. But what I've done is I've used the helmeted version, looking at the enemy, I suppose, or looking where she's firing at least. And then the helmetless version, I've got her looking away. And believe it or not, that subtlety makes a bit of a change to the pose. This sister looks like she's bracing and firing from the hip with that bolt gun. Whereas this sister, because of the way the head is and the change in the, gives the model a bit of a change of direction, almost like she's leaning into that right leg and looking that way. So even though they are pretty much exactly the same model, the difference in head, helmetless and helmeted, and the change in direction of the head makes them look a fair bit different, which is brilliant. And that's what I would have liked to have seen more in you know, some of the Primaris models. Anyway, so they're twins, but I've made them look a bit unique, bit different. And the same goes for the running Sisters of Battle here. So I've got the one with their helmet, again, sort of charging forward, running with the shoulder down, running into battle. Whereas the sister without the helmet, I've kind of changed the head position and made her look as if she's sort of like, not aiming up, but just looking upwards. Maybe she's looking around a corner at the top of a building or whatever. It just changes the look of the model, having their helmeted and helmetless and in a different head position, because I didn't want them all with helmets and all in the helmets facing the right direction, facing the same direction. And finally, these twins, again, the change in their helmeted and helmetless models really changes the look of them. The sister with the helmetless, the sister without the helmet, looks like, instead of she's running, she's kind of like peering round a corner, a bit cautious. Even though she's got a bolt gun raised, she's sort of like peering around that corner to look. Your eyes focus on where she's looking at. Likewise with the helmeted version, having focusing issues myself here, that sister is looking sort of down the sights of the gun, at least down the barrel of the gun, down the sights of the gun at least, and running forward or taking some steps forward, probably mowing the enemies of mankind down. So you can see how, although you get 3 sets of 2 twins, so although you get 3 sets of twins in this Battle Sister group, there are options there of making them look slightly different with the helmeted and helmetless options that the kit gives you, which leads me on to the spare parts. That means that with the 6, you get 6 spare heads, which are right here. You could easily just cut the plugs off of them and use them on other Sisters models, I'm pretty sure. You also get a few pistols in their holsters, because a few of them, like the Sister Superior, already have a bolt pistol in there. They're already moulded onto the model, but yeah, you get three more pouches, which again you could probably use for another Sisters of Battle squad. So that's my close look at the Sisters of Battle squad in the army set. What I'll do now is just show you some size comparisons. I've got a couple of Sisters of Battle models at the moment. So I've got the Cannon S here. The Sister Superior actually looks more dynamic than the Cannon S. Height-wise, they're similar, but I'd give it to the Cannon S. She's a bit taller, but that chainsword adds a bit more height to the model. Dare I say, if the sword was raised, that would be the opposite. So the rest of the Sisters fall in line with the Cannon S. The Cannon S is on the same base. That's both good and bad. It means it's going to be difficult to sort of single that Cannon S out. She's going to be hidden amongst squads and things. Well, not in squads, but you know what I mean. With only this null rod or rod of office to single her apart. Comparing the squad to the Gemini Superior, again, similar sort of sizes there. I haven't built the Seraphim yet, so I thought I'd just give you a size comparison with these. But yeah, these are going to be exactly the same size as the Seraphim once complete. And then finally, I just always like to do a couple of size comparisons with Space Marines. So I've got a Primera Space Marine and a normal one. So a normal Space Marine, if we have a look there and we just remove the kind of scenic base in a way, they're similar height. I know the Sister Superior is sort of reaching upwards. If we looked at another sister who's in a similar kind of pose, they are the same height, if not a bit taller. It's really, yeah, interesting to see. And that's good because there's so much detail packed onto these plastic miniatures. Their slenderness really lends itself out, and I knew that this would happen from the plastic Sisters of Silence that we got. Looking at the Primaris, I want to say kind of this pose maybe. Yeah, Primaris are, yeah, good head or so taller than the Sister. And there you go, that's all my size comparisons done. What I will do now is go through all of their rules and things. So you find them in your brand new Sisters of Battle Codex. There's only one troop choice, so this is it. Dare I say it, the multi-part kit will have a load of other range weapon options as well. I'm sure there'll be combi weapons in that list, and condemner bolt guns, combi plasmas, melters and flamers, as well as special weapons such as a flamer, melter gun and storm bolter, and an incenser cherub, which this is clearly lacking. I suppose I could use one of the Inquisition cherubs as the incenser cherub. I think that would be all right. Okay, so there are power points cost of a 4, which is pretty cheap. Their points cost for match play is 9 points per model, so that's quite decent. The unit contains 1 Sister Superior and 4 Battle Sisters. It can additionally contain up to 5 Battle Sisters or up to 10 Battle Sisters for a power rating of +4. Every model is equipped with bolt pistol, bolt gun, frag grenades and crack grenades. So you can have up to 15 in a squad, which is very decent. A nice group of 15 bolt guns with special weapons and range weapons is quite neat. So their stat line reads, they're a movement of 6 inches, their weapon skill is 4+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7 and a save of 3+. The Sister Superior has the same stat line, but has 2 attacks instead of 1 and a leadership of 8. For those of you that are wondering, well, how do they compare to a standard kind of legacy Space Marine? Well, a tactical squad is a power points cost of 4, and they cost 12 points per model, but you can only get 10 of them. So that's the difference really. Space Marines cost more, you can get fewer of them. Stat line wise, they have a better weapon skill, strength, and toughness, but their saves are the things that remain the same. So really they are, in a way, cheaper Space Marines, but with a worse weapon skill, strength, and toughness. And they don't have the Angels of Death rule, do they? But they do have miracles, of course. So back onto the Battle Sister squad themselves then. The bolt pistols are, as usual, range 12 inch, pistol 1, strength 4, AP 0 and a damage of 1. They're bolt guns, same as usual, 24 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP 0 and a damage of 1. Crack grenades and frag grenades do the same as always. One battle sister can be equipped with one weapon from the special weapons list instead of one bolt gun. Clearly mine's got the flamer, although you do have an option of having a melter gun or storm bolter. One battle sister can be equipped with one following instead of one bolt gun, one weapon from the heavy weapons list, one weapon from the special weapons list. So again, you've got another weapon there that can be a heavy weapon or a special weapon. It's interesting that it just says one battle sister. So there's no limitations compared to the Space Marine Codex where you have to have 10 to get one heavy weapon. You can have a heavy weapon in a 5-woman squad of these sisters. One battle sister equipped with one bolt gun can have a Simulacrum Imperialis, which one of mine does. The Sister Superior can additionally be equipped with one weapon from the melee weapons list or can be equipped with one weapon from the melee weapons list instead of one bolt gun. And that is a chainsword, power maul or power sword. Mine's got the chainsword. The Sister Superior can be equipped with one weapon from the ranged weapons list instead of one bolt gun. So again, she could have a bolt pistol, bolt gun or combi weapon or condemner bolt gun. The Sister Superior can be equipped with one weapon from the pistols list instead of one bolt pistol. The unit can have an Incenser Cherub, which is one thing that this set misses, and I think it would have been good if they included it. But we'll get that in the main kit in the future. Abilities: Axe of Faith, Sacred Rites, and Shield of Faith. Simulacrum Imperialis. If a model in this unit has a Simulacrum Imperialis, then once per phase you can perform one act of faith for this unit, even if you have already performed one or more acts of faith in that phase. Brilliant. Definitely worth taking for that. And then the Incenser Cherub, the elusive Incenser Cherub. If this unit has an Incenser Cherub, then once per battle at the beginning of a phase, that Incenser Cherub can intercede. If it does, the Incenser Cherub is removed from play and you gain 1 miracle dice. Roll 2d6 when you do so and select which one to keep. The miracle dice you gain can only be used to perform an act of faith for this unit and only in that phase. At the end of the phase, if the dice has not been used, it is lost. An Incenser Cherub is represented by an Incenser Cherub model, but does not count as a model for any rules purposes. Whilst a unit with an Incenser Cherub is on the battlefield, the Incenser Cherub must be within 2 inches of it. So you don't get it in this set, but I'm sure you'll get it in the main set. An Incenser Cherub for match play will cost you an extra 5 points. I think it's quite worth it though. You get that extra miracle dice. The faction keywords are Imperium, Adeptus Ministorum, Adeptus Sororitas, Infantry and Battle Sisters squad. So there you go, that's my review of this Battle Sisters squad. There's no reason really why you couldn't have 2 sets of 5 here. You could have them and you could have them if you wanted. Nothing stopping you there. You could have the 10, or when the main kit comes out, you could have 15 in one squad. I really love these models. I think this is definitely a step forward and I can't wait for the separate kits to come out. Much like the Dark Imperium box set for Primaris and Death Guard was kind of a gateway drug to the full kits that were eventually released. I mean, we had to wait many months. It was, I think, 5 or 6 months before we got the Myphitic Blight Hauler. So it was a long time before we got the full kit releases. Now, depending on stock levels, I think we'll get all of these new releases out in January, maybe running into February. We'll see. They are going to be extremely popular, so I can only suggest that you get on the websites early enough to pre-order any of the Sisters of Battle models to avoid any disappointment, as was the case with this kit. Very limited quantities. I can only imagine how much they would have sold if they had produced sufficient amounts. What do you guys think of the models, and in particular what this review is about, which is the Battle Sisters squad? What do you think about the rules as well? They're more flexible than Space Marines, just in terms of having 15 in a squad, or having smaller squads of 5 with the heavy weapons, but less, dare I say the word, tactical in terms of delivery method. You can't deep strike them or drop pod them in or anything like that, but they do have access to the Immolators and Sororitas Rhinos as well, but no Land Raiders. Please put your thoughts and opinions down below as always. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.